still looks like he's in total control of this as he heads towards yet another race win. He's had 9 this year. Right-hander of Luffield to the inside line goes Hudspeth. Is there a gap? Almost. He's going to have a go coming through Woodcote if he can get the inside line. Is he going to be level? He's going to try, he's going to try, he's going to try, but Ewan Mackay just hangs on ahead. Here they come, over the timing line. Mackay is ahead. And a 5-second penalty for number 1, Dan Camish, has just been put on the timing screen for exceeding track limits. A 5-second penalty, number 1, Camish leads on the road. Dino Zamparelli staying with him as they work their way up towards the timing line. And Dino Zamparelli, it is going to be who will score a win. Dan Camish is the first man to take the checkered flag, but Dino Zamparelli, after a penalty... As there, whoops, contact. Richard Hawken into the back of Gary Eastwood, and past the pair goes Dan Kirby, and off the road goes Gary Eastwood. Goes harvesting, he'll get back onto the circuit, loses more places, and up the inside comes Fraser Robertson. And the rain is falling once again, we understand. Now Dino Zamparelli leads the way. Off the road and back on again is Richard Hawken. More drivers with their wipers on. Richard Hawken versus Fraser Robertson, side by side. Fraser on the outside.
As Francis Chia has an issue in the open road racing 21. Now, is that a left rear puncture, potentially? Left side of the car is definitely drooping, and maybe he's dragging something as well underneath him. Gets the indicator out, he's pulling to the right-hand side, and I don't think he's going to risk... Ooh, look at the damage to the back of the car as well. I didn't see that previously.
Dan Camish with nothing to fret about, doesn't have to lose that advantage, and people close up on him. Now goes through with 12 laps to run, 1.9 seconds. He is ahead of Charlie Eastwood.
By Julien Andelaire, who's the leader in the championship. He's having fun, as are these guys down in the Mulsanne. Oh, down the inside. What a manoeuvre this is if he can pull this off. That is brilliant stuff from Dan Camish, and he keeps it on the island.
Just stopped it before the exit, and he might have been slow out there. He might get repassed before the turn into Indianapolis, but we'll see. But that was a very late, but Camish has always been really...
Late Gelzinis over the line. There they are. The red and white car is Lewis Plato on the outside line. On the inside is Jonas Gelzinis. There's going to be contact here, I fear, and Plato goes through round the outside.
Yeah, well, of course, Jelly went round the outside of Camish at turn 1 at Alton Park, but he's gone too deep here, and that's someone off in front. That's Oliphant.
Tom Oliphant off the road, so the man that was second has had a spin down at Sunny. He's back on the road.
Yes, Esme Hawkey has got the better stop, but trouble behind.
Peter Carr-Henning and Justin Sherwood touched and have gone off into the wall. No other car, or one other car involved.
Two more involved to the rear. Still lost, I'm afraid, in the tyre smoke.
At the front, Esme Hawkey looked to have the start done, but I think she got outbraked by the move round the outside. But Lewis Plato was very, very gentle in there. I mean, and Mackay's lost it under the brakes. Gone wide. Can he keep it rolling? He bounces off the tyre a little bit. Yes, he does keep it going. That's ironic. I had that exact conversation with Dan about doing just
Sideline. Can he go all the way around the outside of him? Yes, he can. Lewis Plato goes second. Zamparelli fights back. They're absolutely together. Great stuff. Zamparelli does retake second. Possibly a nudge from behind as Plato was really close. He goes to the outside. It's Theo Alinas fourth. He's up the inside in the JTR car. Number 11, Theo Alinas now goes third as they work their way out of the corner. Or does he? Because at turn 3, Lewis Plato fights back on the inside.
this line through that corner as they were tripping over themselves. Is he going to be able to capitalise as they come down to the S's? Plato's defending right to the inside. No choice for Oliphant and Zamparelli but to go out wide, and trying to go the very long way round. Zamparelli can't quite do it. Cutting back by Oliphant, coming up to the bomb hole. Plato moves over, just cuts his nose off.
Camish down over the timing line. We wait for anybody else. 2.9 seconds later, Tom Oliphant goes through. Tom Oliphant, oh so close to losing his place, is still second, but Eastwood has caught up and he's gone through up the inside ahead of Dino Zamparelli. So
There's Lewis Plato still battling with Oliphant, and they're in traffic as well now. And this could easily be a danger time for Oliphant in the 15. The black car, as we look at it, with the green rear wing, comes out, pulls out from the slipstream. That's the John McCulloch car who got spun around at the beginning.
Standards flag this time was Plato, Zamparelli, Alinas and Harper. Second, third, fourth, fifth are absolutely together, and here comes Harper up the inside line through Bombhole. He's level now with the Cypriot driver Theo Alinas. He's going to go through. Yes, job
one. So kudos to Yen for remembering what the race director said in the heat of battle. Dean Cook does indeed get a 10-second time penalty for a false start. I think that one was pretty slam and dunk.
Tom Oliphant tries to go around the outside of Alessandro Latifi at Clark, and he runs wide and he goes through the gravel. Oliphant bounces back onto the road, but Jelly goes ahead of him. Gelzinis goes ahead of him, and others stream past.
Porsche curves. The guys on the viewing bank there from the campsite got a great view of watching these cars turn in. That must be awesome, turning into that. What do you reckon, 155, 160 into that?
Probably, yeah, 100. Oh, Camish, a big slide there.
That is a save and a half.
Up towards the complex. Rupert Martin is going to be lapped. Sean Hudspeth tries to find a way past him, and they're going to have a little battle right ahead of the race leader. Hudspeth gets into the side of Martin. Zamperelli gets up the inside. Dan Camish is almost with him. That's the last thing the race leader needs, with back markers being silly ahead of him. He's ended up with two more.
Putting Zamperelli under pressure on the run down to the Parabolica, but Zamperelli in turn is trying to pass Esme Hawkey.
Great stuff, and he's done that very cleanly indeed. And Esme Hawkey's going to pull back across, and Tom Wrigley finds no way through. Tries again on the exits. The Parabolica.
They're great for Esme to racing with these experience.
They come up then to complete lap 7, but only now, really, do we go racing proper. So Eastwood it is who leads, and he's got the drop by half a second over Camish. In third is Zamperelli, fourth is Oliphant, fifth is Ewan Mackay, sixth Lewis Plato. No relation to Jason, of course. Seventh is Dan Mackay, Tio Elinas is eighth, ninth is Tom Wrigley, and 10th is Jamie Eastwood. Third is Zamperelli, and it's Tom Oliphant. Fourth as Tom Sharp goes sideways. Alessandro Latifi goes sideways. It was a lock-up by Sharp, but Latifi sideways up at Wilson. Everybody else has to dart around him. That's going to split up the pack a little bit towards the end. But up front, Dan Camish leads the... And he's got pro-class driver Alessandro Latifi behind him. The Sharp tries the outside of Eastwood, but he's locked up. He's gone wide. And here comes Lloyd up alongside him, and he goes through. Tom Sharp loses a place. Latifi's up the inside of Dan Mackay and almost into the back of Sharp. He does just touch the back of the IDL Racing car. 4.1 seconds. So it's another race for him to really secure now. He's got a huge margin. So what can the opposition do to stop Dan Camish? Well, really, the only thing that stopped him is officialdom today, because, of course, he won on the road, but the opening lap, the opening race, rather, won by Dino Zamperelli on corrected times. The checkered flag is at the ready, and Dan Camish will win round 2.
It was all that Dan Camish needed to do to get away. He did it, made the break, dealt with the traffic. He has done everything perfectly and wins the third round of the Porsche Carrera Cup Great Britain for 2016 in some stop.
Riches, but Tom Wrigley has the inside line. Lewis Plato keeps on coming. Who's going to come out ahead? It's Wrigley on the inside line, up towards Wilson on the outside line. 77 is Plato. Third is Tio Elinas as they hit the brakes for the hairpin, and Wrigley it is who takes over the race lead. That was brave stuff by both through the first.
Up in front of him, Enzo truly challenging Dylan Yip. Dylan Yip with an issue from second to fifth. As onto Raffles Boulevard, they sweep for the first time. It's a right-hand kink coming up, and Bailey Hall thinks better of 3 wide.
The race leader, Dan Camish, though, is heading now up towards the checkered flag, and an 8th win of the year. Dan Camish dominates yet again in Porsche Carrera Cup Great Britain. Dan Camish wins for the 8th time this season.
And off onto the dirt, onto the dirty part of the circuit, coming down into the Indianapolis and Arnage sector, side by side. Then I think that was that Mackay defending at the background? Oh, it's Oliphant that's gone through, isn't it? That's a fantastic manoeuvre there from Tom Oliphant. The two British drivers are battling for...
Zamperelli has controlled this race.
Oh, big impact. John McCulloch gets wiped out there by Dan Mackay coming up towards the complex. Dan Mackay tried to move on the inside. I think put himself 2 wheels on the grass. Couldn't slow the car down. Harpoon John McCulloch. They are both trying to rejoin.
Down the straight as they head up to 176 miles an hour before the brake area. Wrigley goes to the outside. Elinas will defend, but has he stopped the car? Yes, he has just got it off. Oh, he could have run into the back of Gamble there. That was a close one. But they're all the way down to first gear from 176 miles an hour down to
Up the inside line, down to Duffer's Dip for the first time. Contact there as into the back of Charlie Eastwood goes Tom Oliphant, who goes off the road. One of the Mackays goes with him, Dan Mackay, I think that was, and they turn their way now out of Duffer's Dip for the first time. Tio Elinas has dropped back in the pack, But it's Dan Camish eastward from Zamperati. Plato third, Elinas fourth, Ewan Mackay fifth, and there Tom Oliphant is sixth ahead of Dan Mackay. Scott Mulvin is eighth. Bit of a lock-up lower down the order as the cars scrabble their way through. Justin Sherwood that was, who is the Pro-Am 1 class leader within the championship. Peter Kyle Hennig, who is the driver to beat with wins in Pro-Am 2, badly delayed at the start, so he's down in 18th place, having gone off the road.
Concentrate on.
Tom Sharp goes towards the S's. Ewan Mackay hangs on to the class lead, down right on his tail. Dan Mackay has got himself up past Ewan Mackay, and Lewis Plato has got through as race win number 11 of the year and a second Porsche Carrera Cup GB title. Dan Camish is the champion again. Second across the line. Underway. We're racing, and Dan Camish it is, the reigning champion who leads on the run up towards paddock. On the inside, Yenis Gelzinis from third on the grid rides the curve as he tries to squeeze his way past Tom Sharp. But Camish ahead of Zamperati as they drop downhill. Gelzinis runs third and Sharp right in the back of him and already in trouble there. There's a spin heading down towards the bottom of Graham Hill. Sean Hudspeth it is, new to the championship in front.
As they cross the line and get the green light, and we're racing it already. There's a problem. Off to camera right. Somebody getting the start very wrong indeed, but has gone through at least the gravel trap, and I think we'll get restarted. And another problem. That is the 15 car, and that is Tom Oliphant.